The motive we're guided by before we begin to study any spiritual teaching and perform any spiritual practices determines the result that we will get. Therefore, the motive is very important. And unfortunately, it is impossible to force a person externally to experience one or another motive, because the motive is born from the depths of the essence of each person. And neither by force nor violence is it possible to make a person have the right motive. Therefore, even if two people followed the same spiritual direction, perform the same spiritual practices, one of them can be successful and become a Buddha in one incarnation, and the other person will be unsuccessful and may become a mere despot, because their motives were originally different. When throughout all these years I met with different groups of people, especially in the beginning, we would sit down in a circle and I would ask each person about their motive. I asked, "What is your motive?" Very quickly, people realized how to answer this question. Because some said, "I want to achieve spiritual perfection." And I would reply, "Good." Other people wanted some advantages in life, or to achieve something in life, such as improved family relationships or something else. And I also said, "Good." But then people understood what I was driving at. And they started to say that they want to help all living beings. But just because they said that, their motive did not change. Because there is an open agenda that people want other people to see in them. And they say, "I want to help all living beings." And there is a hidden agenda. This is a true motive that actually directs the person. And this motive, this hidden motive, the person may not even be aware of. Yet, it will be this hidden motive that will be managing all life situations, everything that is happening in this person's life, and not the motive that he or she openly shows to everyone. And we need to understand this. A person who faithfully looking into your eyes speaks perfectly impeccable divine truths, in fact, may not follow these truths, him or herself. But in order to understand in which direction the person will be advancing, you need to carefully monitor this person for a year, 3 years, 7 years, 12 years, and 24 years. Most of the people whom I had observed, after even 6 months, it was clear that they were going in the wrong direction. For some, it happened in a year, and for some, it is impossible to hide. Jesus taught us to judge by the fruit. That is, not by the right actions, not by what people say, but by the fruits. That is the result of their actions. But this result must ripen first. Because the world is very dense, the result needs to ripen, for which you need time. Fruits ripen faster now, because time is accelerating. But nevertheless, you still need to give the person the opportunity to express their inner essence. Another thing that I observed in people is the desire to obtain as much external information as possible. They ask, Tatyana Nikolaevna, have you read this? I say no. How about this? I say no. But did you read that? No. Then at a meeting in St. Petersburg, someone said, referring to a Russian joke, the Chukchi is not a reader, the Chukchi is a writer. Because in fact, I do not really know any of the religions or any of the teachings that exist in the world. There is also a metaphor. There is a donkey, you know, the one who says, "Ia, ia." And if you load it with the best holy books that exist in the world, from this donkey will not be wiser. You see? And the same applies to people. A person has a certain capacity of consciousness, how much information he or she can perceive. Therefore, if we have read this and that, and saw this and looked at that, thereby we overload our mental body and emotional body. And then, when the true knowledge comes, we're not able to perceive it. You see? This is the main problem that now exists in the world. That is the excess of information, among which 90% is false information. And in order to start advancing, you do not need to study a lot of different teachings. In order to identify 26 main fundamentals of the teaching, it is not necessary to do a comparative analysis of all the 12 religions, or however many of them exist in the world. You just need to meditate for 12 years. Make sense? El Morya said, you attain not by going wide, but by moving deeper. You do not begin to move along the spiritual path when you are standing with a map and seeing that you can go this way, and 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 this way. You only have the illusion of movement. You're still standing and you're just rotating in different directions, but you're not moving anywhere. You begin to move when you take a step. That is, you choose the direction in which to go, and you take a step. And then you go without stopping, until you reach the top of the divine consciousness. In fact, there are only two motives. One motive is based on egoism, and another motive is based on altruism. Which one is driving you? The desire to get something for yourself, or to give everything up in order for the evolution to continue on the planet? And this, your inner choice, will direct you through your entire life.